Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet, to go over everything.
While Copernicus had claimed positively the Sun to be 3,391,200 miles from Earth, Kepler assured the astronomical community that his new figure of 12,376,800 miles was the true distance. A few years later, in 1608, the first telescope was invented, and by 1609, the next champion of Copernicism, Italian astronomer, Freemason, and probable Jesuit Galileo Galilei, had purchased and built several of them. Galileo improved upon the telescope's design, boosting the zoom capabilities from the original 3 times up to 30 times magnification, and in 1610 made the most important alleged discovery of his career. With his 30-time zoom telescope, Galileo claimed to have seen what he described as, quote, 3 fixed stars, totally invisible by their smallness, all close to Jupiter and lying on a straight line through it. After tracking these invisible stars for a while and noticing they appeared sometimes but not others, Galileo concluded that when he could not find them, they must be hiding behind Jupiter, and therefore they must not be invisible stars at all, but rather invisible moons orbiting Jupiter. His alleged discovery of moons orbiting Jupiter was then touted as proof of the Copernican system, claiming that Earth must be a planet like Jupiter since both have orbiting moons. To this day, NASA claims to have special telescopes which can, on occasion, see these moons of Jupiter, just as Galileo claimed in his day to see, on occasion, with his special telescopes. Nowadays, with modern telescopes and zoom technology, we can see the celestial bodies far closer and with far more clarity than Galileo could have ever hoped for. A 2016 Nikon P900 has 83 times optical zoom and 332 times digital capabilities, which put Galilean telescopes to shame. Yet, even with this level of magnification, Galileo's alleged invisible stars orbiting Jupiter are nowhere to be found. Galileo and his fellow Mason predecessors, acting more like true believers of their heliocentric faith than legitimate scientists, were constantly guilty of inventing elaborate theories to support their foregone conclusion.
First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
Ancient Greek philosophers. And these philosophers have discovered a ton of things that we live by, but why don't we ever question them? They're ancient! For example, ancient Greek philosophers are the same people who have discovered constellations. You know, the idea of connecting stars to make pictures like the Big Dipper or zodiac signs.
I'm a Leo. I'm uninterested.
But if you weren't taught about this as a kid and you were just to look at these pictures, it looks nothing like what they claim it to be. I mean, this looks like a child's connect the dot homework from art class, which, by the way, he or she should probably get an F for. This looks nothing like a fish.
Sorry, I'll work on that. Look, I agree. Constellations don't always look like what they're supposed to be, but what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about planets, not stars.
That's exactly it. What if it's both? You see, our solar system is made up of one gigantic star and a bunch of planets orbiting around it.
Okay.
What if each of these planets are actually just points in one big constellation? You see, there's always been rumors and questions by people, including scientists, that believe that if at any point all the planets align, the world will come to an end. That's the constellation they're trying to hide from us. I call it Sun.
What?
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. That's the new zodiac sign, a modern day human.
The crew went through the preparation process. They reported we were ready.
Still my phone.
I had a tracking station make sure that all of the safety criteria had been met. And this was now okay to open up the hatch.
Miles per hour, 200 miles above the Earth.
Okay, I'm out.
Background, you can tell it's just a background that's been placed there. I don't know what this is meant to be. Is this the Van Allen belt? Well, what is that? Is that meant to be where the atmosphere ends? Why are these clouds not moving? Why is none of the lights flickering? What is up with these thunders? What, does thunder strike the same place multiple times? Like this? You see it, there was one bit where you see two hitting the exact same place. Anyway, so yeah, this was my 2 cents. This is look. I think that was the sun that got smaller there.
Things start to take a somewhat sinister turn. Look closely at the repeating cloud pattern. Here we can see clear examples that the photograph has not only been doctored or constructed, but also strong evidence that whoever done the doctoring used repeating photographic templates. That is, they cloned parts of the image and repeated it. That is, the photograph is a construction. This does not happen in nature. Clouds do not repeat in the same pattern like this. The chances of this happening in the same photograph are low. The only way this could happen is if someone has cloned clouds and painted them on. This of course could be for a number of reasons. You could argue that NASA simply touched up the photograph for effect, or that it was a problem with the imaging systems that were used.
Been here once before. Been here once before.
Houston, we have a problem.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Have you ever dreamed of going up to outer space? Or maybe meeting other beings from another place? Have you ever wondered what it's like on other planets? Then you watch a science show and come to believe you understand it? You feel empowered by the knowledge and you feel enlightened, listening to Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson. But then you wake up and you start to see the obvious. Life is just a lie and this whole world ain't what we thought it was.
This is for the skeptics. Actual proof that they use wires.
You look like you're in a
Check
studio,
this out.
maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
Yeah, because the air proves that you're in space.
I don't know, we're going to have to
check
do
this.
something for
Check
it.
the man with a stripy top. Look, he grabs the wire above him. Now check the man on the right. With his right arm, he grabs the wire. Did you see it? Now check in slow motion. The man on the right, look at his right arm. He's grabbing him to stabilise him. Then look at the man behind him with the stripy top on. Now he's looking up and he's grabbing the wire. Look, he's looking for the wire to grab it. Yeah. Check that out. He's grabbing the wire there. Look, he's looking up because he sees the wire moving about and he's grabbing it to stabilise it. Look. Now check the man on the right with the USMC t-shirt. Check his arm. Watch this. Check his arm. Look, his arm goes to grab him. Look. But he doesn't grab him, he grabs the wire. Look, there's nothing there, but he's grabbing something and it's tugging his trousers up. And then check him on the left. He looks down to see. Look, he's checking it out himself. Yeah? You wanted proof, you've just got proof there. If you don't accept this, then you are just absolutely brainwashed. This is absolute proof that they are using wires on the space station, or the fake space station. You've just been busted, guys. Busted wide open. Your hoax has been exposed. You deceiving little snakes. Fuck you all, you satanic pricks.
In this picture, you can see that the two couple are dancing, and as you can see from the right side, you can see the Twin Tower up in smoke. Yeah, that's so creepy. That's why I don't watch The Simpsons, because they are part of the Illuminati, in which they brainwash you by watching movies, cartoons, music, pictures and other stuff that have Illuminati stuff. Let's go to one more picture. In this last picture, you can see that Lisa Simpson is holding a magazine saying, New York $911. Well, guess what? You see on the magazine picture that the two Twin Towers are up in smoke.
The pitcher, steroid Santa Claus, kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
If you look at the logo for the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research, SCAR, you see how they have the Antarctic continent in blue, with white surrounding the blue. So if you look at the negative space, this almost looks like an ice wall surrounding a pond of ocean. So they kind of hide these things right in plain sight, right in front of our faces.
Look at this. Now, there is so much removed data from Antarctica, but they have all these cats and moving equipment and stuff like this. Okay. Some more pictures. Look at this. Look. I got these cranes and they're loading them onto flatbeds. And they're setting up shop. Because look at the number. And this is just so what they'll do, it seems like they'll get to a good point on the coastline around the plane that we're on. They'll get there. They pick a point that's good for getting their ship through and getting all the cranes and all the equipment and their helicopters and all their fuel and stuff like that. And then they kind of leapfrog up. Okay, this is one of their ports in Antarctica that is good. I mean, it's one of their, because you could tell all they have to do is go through the ice, right? I mean, obviously you can't get there because there's going to be ice in the water. But I mean, some of the land, and I've been showing this, on Google Earth, it is so treacherous. I mean, it's just absolute. So there's probably, places that you can go that are more easily accessible to get up. And that Operation High Jump out there where I was telling you back, the one picture, out in the middle of a wasteland, the farthest you can go that I could get pictures from, and they got this thing. I think I got a better deal on it. Let me just show you guys real quick. Let me see if oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, so I didn't get it, but that's the best one I think I got. But look at this here. These cities kind of popping up, their little abodes. But look at this. It looks like an underground little something something. Little underground entrance for cats and, God knows what they're holding down there.
Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone when the...
Chapter 66. Thus saith the Lord, The heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And tremble before him all the earth. The world is firmly established, it cannot be moved.
Greatest cover-up of all time, NASA and Freemasonry's biggest secret, is that we are living on a plane, not a planet, that Earth is the flat, stationary center of the universe. Lady Blunt wrote, "We are told that though the Earth has the appearance of being a vast plain, with the sun moving high above and over the Earth, that what we see is a deception, it is an optical illusion, for it is not the sun that moves, but the Earth, with the sea and all that in them is, in the form of a globe, whizzing with terrific rapidity round the sun, located millions of miles away, its mean distance being assumed to be 91 millions of miles, and that the Earth travels at a rate of 68,000 miles an hour, or 19 miles every second." Alan Daves said, "If the government or NASA had said to you that the Earth is stationary, imagine that. And then imagine we are trying to convince people that no, it's not stationary. It's moving forward at 32 times rifle bullet speed and spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. We would be laughed at. We would have so many people telling us, you are crazy. The Earth's not moving. We would be ridiculed for having no scientific backing for this convoluted moving Earth theory. And not only that, but then people would say, oh, then how do you explain a fixed calm atmosphere and the sun's observable movement? How do you explain that? Imagine saying to people, no, the atmosphere is moving also, but is somehow magically velcroed to the moving Earth. The reason is not simply because the Earth is stationary. So what we are actually doing is what makes sense. We are saying that the moving Earth theory is nonsense. The stationary Earth theory makes sense, and we are being ridiculed. You've got to picture it being the other way around to realize just how ridiculous this situation is. This theory from the government and NASA that the Earth is rotating and orbiting and leaning over and wobbling is absolute nonsense, and yet people are clinging to it tightly, like a teddy bear. They just can't bring themselves to face the possibility that the Earth is stationary, though all the evidence shows it. We feel no movement. The atmosphere hasn't been blown away. We see the sun move from east to west. Everything can be explained by a motionless Earth without bringing in all these assumptions to cover up previous assumptions gone bad. If the Earth were truly a spinning ball orbiting the sun, there are several tests and experiments which could be and have been conducted to prove or disprove the veracity of such a claim. For example, Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe famously argued against the heliocentric theory in his time, positing that if the Earth revolved in an orbit around the Sun, the change in relative position of the stars after 6 months of orbital motion could not fail to be seen. He argued that the stars should seem to separate as we approach and come together as we recede. In actual fact, however, almost 200 million miles of supposed orbit around the Sun, and not a single inch of parallax can be detected in the stars. Thomas Winship wrote, "If the Earth is at a given point in space on, say, January 1st, and according to present-day science at a distance of 190 million miles from that point 6 months afterwards, it follows that the relative position and directions of the stars will have greatly changed, however small the angle of parallax may be. That this great change is nowhere apparent and has never been observed incontestably proves that the Earth is at rest, that it does not move in an orbit round the Sun." Samuel Rowbotham wrote, "Take 2 carefully bored metallic tubes, not less than 6 feet in length, and place them 1 yard asunder on the opposite sides of a wooden frame or a solid block of wood or stone. So adjust them that their centers of axes of vision shall be perfectly parallel to each other. Now direct them to the plane of some notable fixed star a few seconds previous to its meridian time. Let an observer be stationed at each tube, and the moment the star appears in the first tube, let a loud knock or other signal be given, to be repeated by the observer at the second tube when he first sees the same star. A distinct period of time will elapse between the signals given. The signals will follow each other in very rapid succession, but still the time between is sufficient to show that the same star is not visible at the same moment by 2 parallel lines of sight when only 1 yard asunder. A slight inclination of the second tube towards the first tube would be required for the star to be seen through both tubes at the same instant. Let the tubes remain in their position for 6 months, at the end of which time the same observation or experiment will produce the same results. The star will be visible at the same meridian time, without the slightest alteration being required in the direction of the tubes, from which it is concluded that if the Earth had moved 1 single yard in an orbit through space, there would at least be observed the slight inclination of the tube, which the difference in position of 1 yard had previously required. But as no such difference in the direction of the tube is required, the conclusion is unavoidable, that in 6 months a given meridian upon the Earth's surface does not move a single yard, and therefore that the Earth has not the slightest degree of orbital motion. When Tycho Brahe demonstrated that after 190 million miles of supposed orbit around the Sun, not a single inch of parallax could be detected, desperate heliocentrists, instead of conceding, doubled down, claiming the stars were all actually trillions upon trillions of miles away from us, so distant that no appreciable parallax could ever be detected. This convenient explanation, which heliocentrists have clung to for centuries, has proven satisfactory to silence the uninquisitive minds of the masses, but still fails to adequately address many observable phenomena, such as our wildly implausible synchronization with Polaris. William Carpenter wrote, "The idea that the Earth, if it were a globe, could possibly move in an orbit of hundreds of millions of miles with such exactitude that the crosshairs in a telescope fixed on its surface would appear to glide gently over a star millions of miles away, is simply monstrous, whereas with a fixed telescope it matters not the distance of the stars, though we suppose them to be as far off as the astronomer supposes them to be, for, as Mr. Richard Proctor himself says, the further away they are, the less they will seem to shift. Why in the name of common sense should observers have to fix their telescopes on solid stone bases so that they should not move a hair's breadth if the Earth on which they fix them moves at the rate of 19 miles in a second, into blindly believing a maleficent myth?"
the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. The Lord reigneth, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven.
The city was laid out like a square, as long as it was wide. And that's why you see her in these concepts that they devise for these celebrities. They don't just pull them out of thin air. There's always a backstory. Again, this is heaven, which is a cube, and the broken glass, which is all symbolizes basically an astronaut breaking through the glass, getting to heaven, which is supposed space. Always, again, hidden meanings that people that don't understand the occult will never get it. Again, they just think this is all random and just thrown together when it's not.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
April in the Arctic. Already the sun descends. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass?
But the whole universe is outside us. Look at the stars. Some of them are 1,000,000 light years away. They are out of our reach forever. What are the stars? Said O'Brien indifferently. They are bits of fire a few kilometers away. We could reach them if we wanted to, or we could blot them out. The Earth is the center of the universe. The sun and the stars go round it. The Earth is the center of the universe. The sun and the stars go round it.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass, and as a molten looking glass, glass, glass?
Hello, it's me. You know, indoctrination started while we were still naive, programming our beliefs. And that inertia is the reason we don't feel the earth spinning. Hello, can you hear me? Did you ever stop to question the confession of gravity as a theory? Funny thing, force alone can be explained with buoyancy and density. The sun is closer than what they've told us, not 90 million miles away. Hello from the inside, I'm here to tell you not to lie, and there never was a space probe, and those planets you've left so wandering stars. Operation Fishbowl, there never was a South Pole. We're surrounded by walls of ice, and we clearly live inside of a glass door. Hello, how are you? Did you get a chance to join Flight Earth and Globe discussion group to discover all the truth? How the sun, the moon, the stars are all revolving around you. There's no more secret. The Earth is stationary.